All right, XRP family, we have a make or break moment for the XRP price chart. Bullish structure is still intact for now, but the dip below $3 this morning had people a little scared. So we're going to bring you another update here today before we go live at 10 p.m. Eastern tonight to cover this current events, financial market, and greatest transfer of wealth in world history. And I'll just give you the sneak peek. Yes, XRP is still on track for a $4 August, and I'm still looking at a $7 to $15 XRP by September 7th. Yep, we're still on path. Let's get right on into the update. A catalyst that's going to drive us higher here is the expectation of rate cuts. This is the Fed's daily saying that the job market is not precariously weak, but it is softening, and further softening would be unwelcome. So this echoing other statements by Federal Reserve Board governors who are saying it might be time to pivot. And now the rate cut odds surge to 90%. Remember, I'm not calling for them to rate cut. I don't think that they will. But the market expectations is what moves our markets. And that's what we need to understand. This is why it's so important to understand the psychology of the investors and participants within these markets, because whether or not they're wrong or right, you just need to understand. And that's why we're going to be moving back up, is because the market's going to be anticipating rate cuts, with Goldman Sachs now expecting 3 consecutive rate cuts of 25 basis points each starting in September. Markets pricing in 90% odds. We're going to be going higher in the meantime. Now, we just got the SEC releasing liquid staking statement today, declaring that staking is not a security, even if you're doing the liquid staking. And what this typically involves is where you stake into a DeFi protocol and they return to you a staking token, or a liquid staking token, I should say, where you can then use that liquid staking token in other ecosystems or other DeFi, etc. So instead of just staking into a DeFi protocol and then not having your crypto to work with, this allows you to kind of have your cake and eat it too, where you can stake. They give you a liquid staking token, which you can then further use into more DeFi. I'll talk more about it later. We're letting all of this get established, and it's coming to the XRP Ledger right now. I'm very excited to be tuning in to this XRP Ledger Smart Escrow space that's going to be hosted by Mayuka Vidari, Senior Software Engineer at Ripple. That's going to be taking place at 4 p.m. Eastern today. As I record this update, you'll have about an hour, hour and a half once this video goes live. So set your reminder. I'll be listening in 4 p.m. Eastern. XRP Ledger Smart Escrows, led by Ripple. Love to see it. And this is just bringing us into this XRP DeFi summer, XRP DeFi season, because it's going to last past summer. It's going to be carrying us into the end of this year and into next year, with the Clarity Act going to give us regulations. And then some of these additional amendments that are getting passed on the XRP Ledger right now actually makes these features go live and gives our developers the full toolkit to be able to build out this DeFi ecosystem. And I'm absolutely very excited to see it roll out. Now, I'm not giving anybody my XRP yet, and I'm definitely not giving anybody else my RLUSD yet either. But Doppler Finance has come around here, and they're introducing the RLUSD Vault. So the US dollar peg stablecoin by Ripple, RLUSD, you can now deposit it into their vault. Now, they don't have yields available for RLUSD yet, but it sounds like they're going to be rolling that out soon. They're currently offering a yield on their XRP vault and their program for that. Now, this is not a pure DeFi opportunity. Let's be very clear. This is centralized. This is you giving your XRP to Doppler, which still haven't been able to put any faces to this company, have not been impressed with this rollout. I'm just being honest and keeping it real with you. I think it's a joke. I wish I could be nice. I wish I could be the nice guy. I wish I could just be singing Kumbaya and, oh yeah, this is another great, provider that's come along. These guys don't even show their face and expect to take in tens of millions of XRP. To me, it's a disrespectful offer, and we got to demand better as an XRP community. But it hasn't stopped some folks from putting in tens of millions of XRP into their platform. It's not going to stop people from putting in RLUSD into this vault. But I just wanted to make you guys aware and let you guys know that I will be conducting full due diligence, and I'm in the process of it right now. It's just so difficult to get answers to questions that we've been having from these platforms. They're not showing faces. They're not easy to work with. They're not explaining it in simple terms. And those are all red flags that keep me far away. And in fact, I guess I wish I could be more nice, but to me, it's a disrespectful offer. Doppler, we got to do better. And anybody else who's thinking about taking our XRP, you need to do better as well too. I'm just saying, you ain't getting my XRP. You're getting laughed out of the room if you try to come get my XRP with these offers. Sorry. Not sorry, because really, I'm just keeping it real with you guys, and it terrifies me how much XRP is being deposited into these platforms so far. I told myself I wasn't going to bring this up and that I was going to be nice when I mentioned it, but I got to sound the alarm. Okay? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong going on here. I'm just saying they got to do better in the presentation. Let's be a little bit more clear with what the rollout's going to be, with how the yield is being generated and where the crypto is being stored at. Let's do better, okay? Now, where I am going to be keeping my assets is in my cold storage, and I've been loading up here on the Decent wallet. That's my most recent favorite wallet to be using for cold storage. And so I've been loading up. I got my Decent, and then I've been sending my XRP to Caleb and Brown. That's where I'm sending mine for right now. You guys can do you, whatever platform you see fit. But the thing that I like here is with my strategy, I have full custody of my long-term holdings, keeping that in cold storage. But the XRP that I have moved to a platform because I want to be able to sell it off and trade it, that's been moved to Caleb and Brown. And they're just providing free institutional grade custody, transparent fees. And the thing that's unmatched is that level of service that you're seeing at Caleb and Brown. So I'm just telling you guys what I'm doing. If you want to give your XRP to some of these other platforms, go ahead. But I'm keeping mine in cold storage and institutional grade custody for now. And I'm just going to let all these DeFi providers and yield wars take place. Regulations get set, and then we'll see who I want to park my XRP with. But as someone who self-directs most of my investments, I still don't think I'm really going to be partaking in many of these programs, other than maybe testing the waters here and there with Flare and some of these others. But we're a long ways away before anybody gets, here's 50,000 XRP. Here's 100,000 XRP for your DeFi program. We're a long ways away from that taking place for me. So we'll keep you guys updated on that situation as it proceeds. XRP Seoul 2025 going to be taking place, and we have basically the first big conference here in Seoul, South Korea, where Ripple's going to be the title sponsor, hosted by XRP Ledger Korea, September 21st, 2025. Absolutely love to see it. For those of you guys in the region or looking to fly in or travel, go check out South Korea. That'd be a fun one to go to. That's going to be taking place September 21st. There you have it. Now, let's talk about this make or break moment, though, for the XRP price chart. So we did get a back test here this morning. Cassie Trade's given us the summary of the update. Critical XRP retest at 296. The market holds its breath. XRP has returned to a crucial support level, now backtesting the 296 zone, which aligns with the 382 Fibonacci retracement, not just locally, but also on the macro scale. This makes this a highly significant decision point for the market. Here we are. This support needs to hold. If XRP can maintain strength here, it would keep the broader bullish momentum intact. It would mean that this pullback was simply a healthy retracement with a larger uptrend. However, if this level starts to give way, it could signal a breakdown in momentum and require us to reconsider the macro plan. So if we break down from here, this is when we would actually have some cause for concern. It's holding up for now. But if we break below this 296 level and lower than that, we'd be looking at that 270 support once again. I'm calling for that to be the low, but if we break below that 270 support, look out, folks. We're going to have to go back to the drawing board. But right now, zoomed in, the RSI is trying to print a bullish divergence on smaller timeframes, starting to show evidence that we will hold this crucial level. All eyes on the 296 level. It's the make or break moment. And so let's watch and see if we can get that daily close above 296. That would keep our structure intact. Levels below that, we got a few. Okay. And it's going to be very interesting to watch. But what I said here earlier is that the market is just not pricing in the fact that the SEC in the Ripple case, that appeal is going to be dropped. And I think that it's going to be dropped by next week, because we're due for a status update on August 15th in the appeals court. Now, I completely understand why our community is worn out, frustrated, and tired. I don't want to mention the XRP case ever again. I don't want to talk about it. But the fact of the matter is, the market perception, once again, back to the psychology of the average retail trader, is that the case is not over and that the case is going to go on forever. Even the XRP community is thinking that this case is still going to go on. For some reason, they're going to find a reason to delay this case. And I understand it. I get it. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think that this case is going to be wrapped up. Now, take it from an SEC director, Mark Fagel. He is explaining that we might be waiting on another vote right here. He says there was a very small chance that the original approval vote encompassed dismissal even without the modification of the injunction order. Now, what he's talking about is how the SEC and Ripple already agreed to a settlement. Remember, we're not talking about two parties that aren't coming to an agreement. We're not talking about a husband and wife that, are thinking about getting divorced. Maybe yes, maybe no. No, we're talking about a couple that's come to an agreement here. It's time to end it. That is the situation here on the SEC Ripple case. They've already come to an agreement and a settlement. They want to end this case. Their first approach was to go back to Judge Torres and get the injunction dropped. Judge Torres said, not happening. So that means that it goes and it continues on at the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. Now, they are due for a status update on August 15th. That has to happen. We have to get a status update by Friday of next week. So by Friday of next week, we will hear something in this case. Now, these are two parties that have already agreed to settle up. They just wanted to get the injunction removed. Now, what's there left to do? All that's left to do is just drop the appeals. That could happen at any day. And we have a status update that's due by Friday of next week. So once again, given the delay, it seems pretty clear that that was not the case. So we're presumably still waiting on another vote, meaning that they already voted to settle up and drop the injunction, take it back to Judge Torres. She denied it. So now it comes back to the SEC, and now they have to agree to drop the appeal. It's a different type of settlement agreement. Same thing. It's just a different means of getting there. And so that's where we're at right now. But the community isn't buying it. And I understand. Comment down below and let me know what you think. You're going to see in the comments down below that most people think that this is going to get delayed. Here's a comment, and I retweeted out today here. I said the SEC versus Ripple case conclusion is not priced in. Everyone is in disbelief that it could actually end and has a negative attitude whenever I mention it. If that is how the average XRP holder is feeling, then you already know that the masses don't have a clue about what is about to happen. And this is a comment from my video this morning. In regards to the Ripple SEC case, nothing has ever went as planned or predicted in 4 years. And that's true. I agree 100%. Never thought that this case would take 4 years. Just afraid this time is no different. Preparing for extension of some sort using history as theory. Hope I'm wrong. And this is why I said our community has delayed stress syndrome. I looked up synonyms for PTSD because I don't think that that's the appropriate term. I don't like, with all due respect to people that have, are veterans and others that have real PTSD. I said, let me look up a synonym for PTSD. And one of them was delayed stress syndrome. And I think that that's what our community has. Me too. I feel you. I feel you guys. I really do. This has worn me out too. It made for great content over the past 4 years, but I'm tired of talking about the case. I want to talk about something else. And the reason why I'm talking about it right now is because from a technical standpoint, it's a make or break moment on the price chart. It's a make or break moment. We need a status update by next Friday. It is a Fed pivot expectation of a rate cut in September that's starting this rally right now. And this is all coinciding right before we get the ETFs approved for XRP, which are going to open up those institutional inflows. So I just do my math. 2 + 2 still equals 4, right? Even in new math Common Core, 2 + 2 still equals 4. If I know the case is about to end, if I know the market's expectations is rate cuts, and if I know that the SEC is going to approve the XRP ETFs, 2 + 2 + 2 is still the same number. Simple math. Conservative assumptions, we're going higher, which is why I added to my XRP long this morning. So get tapped in with us, ZachRector.com for all of our community resources, crypto exchanges, wallets. Sign up through Patreon to get access to Discord. Now's the time to get in the Discord. If you want the alpha, if you want to get connected, and that's for people that are experienced in this space, or for the people that are new and you want to get caught up to speed. For $45 a month, you can join our Discord and you can get caught up to speed in 1 month like that. Okay? You got full access to me, join our Discord weekly calls, and this week in our Discord, I'm going to be doing a full portfolio update. The percentages and my exit targets on every single position that I have. I'm going to be exposing my whole portfolio exclusively to my Discord group. And then later this month on August 15th, we're going to be having an exclusive crypto estate planning call with Mark Kohler, an absolute legend and expert when it comes to tax, legal, and estate planning advice. Very excited for this call. It's going to be exclusive for our Discord community. We already have 120 people that have signed up. So get in, spots are limited. But we are going to make the recording available for our Discord community members exclusively. So sign up with us. I appreciate your support, and we'll be back live tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern for the full live show. And I'm going to be setting aside a lot of time for Q&A. So bring your comments, bring your questions. Let's have ourselves a party tonight. God bless all of you guys. Thank you so much. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.